85 degrees Fahrenheit to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's a pity because it's the first event in the decathlon, 10 events spread over 2 days, and we're seeing heat 3 of the 100 meters. The athletes are seeded. There'll be the best athletes will go into heat 4, but that's the Soviet athlete, Degtyarev. 2 Soviets in this. 816 is Degtyarev. Nevsky wears 842. It's a good pole, 2 very good East Germans, and that's who we're watching now. It's the Soviet athlete on the right, and Degtyarev, or Torsten Voss on the left, who's coming into it. The young man who held the junior world record hits the tape first, and it was Degtyarev who was second, and Torsten Voss's time, 10.69, the fastest, 10.7, the fastest of the championship so far. All these athletes racing against points. Now there's the world record holder from West Germany, Jürgen Hinksen. The Swiss leans across to Stefan Niklas to congratulate him and wish him luck. And the big challenge is really not so much between this man, Uwe Freimuth, but Daley Thompson and this man, Siegfried Wentz, who wears 308. Here's Daley Thompson, that's the Russian there, Akhapkin. But Daley Thompson, the man who has been injured of late, but is the Olympic champion, the Commonwealth champion, and the European champion. He took over the world record from that man, Guido Kratschmer of West Germany, and since then the very big, tall West German Jürgen Hinksen has taken that record back. So Thompson, recovering from injury, anxious to get it back. Really, he's the fastest sprinter there, and look at him flowing now. Daley Thompson of Great Britain getting away. Jürgen Hinksen trying to get up. Siegfried Wentz of West Germany. Guido Kratschmer, they're all fast. Stefan Niklas was in fact the second. And that is now the fastest time, 10.62. And that will score Daley Thompson 906 points. There's Voss's score, 882 for 10.69. Degtyarev. And these points on the right-hand side, all from the international scoring tables against which each of these events is judged. There's Thompson's score, 906. He's the top after the first event. Niklas, 882 for 10.69. And that's the same as Voss of East Germany. Kratschmer, the former world record holder, further down in 4th. 10.86, getting him 839 points. Now for the long jump. Voss, now 23, but he is the junior world record holder, still holds it. Torsten Voss, who sprinted well, now in the long jump. Behind the board, that means it's a safe jump, and he gets a white flag. He sails away. Remember, these athletes have to conserve and ration their energy over 2 days. It's such a grueling event that even if they start off as enemies, they finish up as friends. And so it should be. 7 meters and 48 centimeters, 24 feet 6.5. That's for Voss, and he gets 917 points for that. Now here's the West German, 6 feet 7 of him. He's actually the German long jump champion, and that's a fine jump. You can see how much nearer the 8 meters mark he is on the board. Jürgen Hinksen, who did 10.95 for 100 meters, now does 7 meters and 75 centimeters. A big cheer for him as he scores 971 points. And here's the response from Daley Thompson, the fastest man in the 100, and he's a good long jumper, but he is injured and he's worried about this event. Fine jump from Thompson. And one wonders whether Jürgen Hinksen is watching that. There's the wind gauge in the foreground. It's miserable conditions. It's starting to rain. And Thompson, 7 meters 88. And he scores number 1 in that, 996 points. Here's Guido Kratschmer, a former world record holder. The West Germans have a very, very high standard in the decathlon, the Zehnkampf as it is to them. Oh, well, Guido Kratschmer, a little heavier. He's about 15 stones, just over 6 feet. Charming fellow, I have to say. And Guido Kratschmer way back, I think that looked about 7:20. And there at the end of 2 events, you can see that Daley Thompson has a lead over Voss of East Germany and the world record holder from West Germany, Jürgen Hinkson, back in third. 1,902 points to 1,799 points, 1,788. The next discipline in the decathlon after the 100 meters and long jump is the shot. Daley Thompson, nowhere near as big as Kretschmer or even the world record holder Jürgen Hinkson. But a competent shot putter. And that's a fine put. Now for Thompson, he's rarely been over 15 meters in actual decathlons, although in training he's been over that. And I think he'll settle for that. That looked about 15 meters 30. And a big smile on his face for the first time. 15 meters 35, a further 809 points. That's over 50 feet in the shot. Now for Torsten Voss. Remember, he was the second fastest man at the 100. His long jump was 7:48. Oh, but he's just over 14 meters rather than just over 15 meters. So he'll drop back a little bit, and Daley Thompson will gain more points on him. Checking the scoreboard. 14 meters and 12 centimeters, 736 points. Now, the man who Daley Thompson calls Hollywood Hinkson, because he spends a lot of time in California, and he'd like to have a future in the movie industry. Giant of a man and a magnificent all-round athlete. Oh, and that's long. The longest of the shot putters, I'm sure. And he'll earn a few points back on Daley Thompson with that. Daley Thompson, who's out in front of him, has a look at the scoreboard to see himself in slow motion. And it's the longest put, 15 meters, 66 centimeters, 827 points. Now Guido Kretschmer. Big man, should be good at the shot. Tended to drop his elbow and lob it a little. No, it's not as good as he would have wished. Kretschmer, not over 15 meters. Looking a little unhappy as the rain comes down. Try to keep dry in those little tents. 14 meters and 99 centimeters. That scores him 788 points. And after 3 events, that's Thompson's lead. 2001, 2,711. Hinkson, 2,615. And he's getting away as Thompson from Hinkson. And he must be well satisfied. 38 walkers about to step out on the 50-kilometer walk. That's just about 31 miles. And we'll be looking at the favorites who will be wearing, the red and green of Spain, the red of the Soviet Union. They're wearing 827, Sergei Jung. We'll be looking for the Mexicans too, who have a great reputation in the 50-kilometer walk. They have a couple of laps to do in the stadium, and then they depart on the roads. East Germans too, very strong. And a big cheer from this packed stadium, despite the fact it's now raining hard, which is why some of them are wearing those hats. They were hoping they would be sun hats. Look at the 3 Soviet walkers in the middle there, and suddenly the 2 Mexicans in white and green. Mexico with a tremendous tradition in walking ever since they staged the Olympic Games. It was one of their gold medals in 1968. Mexico have Martin Bermudez, Felix Gomez, and Raul Gonzalez walking for them, and all 3 of them are very experienced indeed. Away they go. Their problem is, as they get better as athletes and faster as walkers, is to maintain the rule of walking in that one foot must remain in contact with the ground throughout. There must be no daylight. And it's difficult for the judges to spot that as they walk away. And there is a feeling within the International Amateur Athletic Federation that these